back to Cardiac Radio for Teens. I'm Bia, and for anyone who doesn't know, Cardiac Radio for Teens is a place where teens can talk about topics that they want to talk about with other teens, not adults or their parents, their teachers, whoever it may be, because sometimes it's easier to talk to other teens than to talk to an actual adult. Usually on the show, I like to get one specific topic and then talk about that for the whole time to go really in depth with it, but just to switch it up a little bit because it's the summer and sometimes listening to one specific topic doesn't relate to us, so we kind of zone out of it and we don't want to listen. But so this time, for this one episode, I want to try and bring a whole bunch of different messages to the table so that we can talk about different things. And so maybe something you'll be able to take and put it into your daily life, if not more than one thing. In the summer, we're all off of school, we're just relaxing, our brains are taking a break. So sometimes it's easier to just go through a little bit of a bunch of topics, to just skim them so that we can go further into them in next shows. So next week, we will return back to the one specific topic and just talk about that and go more in depth. But for this week, just to shake it up a little bit and to make it a little bit interesting, we'll talk about several different passages, and we can talk about those specific ones and maybe talk about them even further in its own specific show another day. So I hope everyone is enjoying their summer vacation because it's going really quickly. It's surprisingly almost like halfway done already, and it's like it just started. So we better take advantage of the last few weeks we're going to have of the summer vacation before we start off our next school year. Seeing that summer is almost half over, that should also be a wake-up call for everyone to start their summer reading if you haven't already. So just a little reminder out there, summer reading should probably get on that about now. I want to start off with a little message called Be Odd Every Day. When you read some of David's writings in the book of Psalm, it's easy to see why. Take, for example, David's words in Psalm chapter 8, 3-4. I often think of the heavens your hands have made, and the moon and stars you put in place. Then I ask, why do you care about us humans? Why are you concerned for our weaklings? David never lost his sense of awe at the world around him. He looked deep into the night sky and marveled at the fact that its designer cared about him. Do you share David's sense of awe? Do you spend time contemplating and appreciating the world around you? Do you maintain an attitude of humility and gratitude? Are you the kind of person who pleases God most? Although that may be a short message, there's so much we can take from that. Now that it's summer, we're all busy, we're all doing different things all the time, we're just having lots of fun, or we're just having fun relaxing for a day. But are we taking the time to appreciate what we have around us? Those little things that we're so lucky to have that are just all around us? When we're out at the beach or when we're playing with our friends or whatever we're doing, are we taking the time to appreciate that God helped us all be together, all have these wonderful beaches, is taking care of us, and all that we have? Are we appreciating that our parents are letting us borrow the car so we can go out, or that our brother is going out to the movies with us, whatever it may be? Are we taking the time to appreciate it? And sometimes, even though it's the summer, it's like there's no schoolwork to worry about, there's no stress or not as much stress. It should be a time where we have lots of time to think and just appreciate little things, but sometimes we still forget to. We still get carried away in everything that we're doing, all the summer activities that we have, that we get carried away, and we don't appreciate the little things that we have around us. And even some of the things that we think we just take for granted, even people here could be really close to us, maybe like an hour away, or it could be 10 hours away, but people in this world still don't have lots of the things that we may have, and we're really fortunate to have that, but sometimes we don't take the moment to appreciate that, to realize that. Everyone's so excited that school's over, it's summer vacation, but there's some kids that they don't have school, or they can't go to school, or they have to work at a young age and they can't go to school. So These people, they would die to go to school. They love school. And they want to be there. And meanwhile, we're here celebrating that we get 2 months or 3 months off of school. So it's these little things that we always have, that we have supermarkets, that we have a family, that we have a house, that we have food that we can eat. All these little things that we have that sometimes we take for granted, but lots of people don't have these same things that we are lucky enough to have. What about the sunshine? We take the sun for granted all the time until, like, today, at least where I live, it was downpouring and then everyone's stuck inside and you don't even want to drive outside because it's downpouring, it's windy, there's lightning and thunder. Imagine if it was like that every day. How would anyone do anything? So even little things like the sun, even when it's hot and it's 90 degrees and you're like, ugh, I wish it was cold again. We do like the sun and we like to be in it because when it's cold, we don't want to be in the cold. Or when it's raining, we just wish the sun would come out. So next time you're out doing something with your friends or with your family, or you're just relaxing at home, try and appreciate what you have. Look around and think, wow, a lot of people don't have this, but I have this. Or even that God let everyone have it, like the sunlight and even the rain, because or else the grass is going to be all dry. So all these little things that we have, we should be so fortunate to have, and we need to remember to thank that and to be aware of those things and not just take them for granted. Going on to a different topic of discussion is being with children, and that's the title of the next message. How many of us during the summer we work at a summer camp, or we go to a summer camp, maybe you're a CIT and you're helping out with the younger kids, or you work at a daycare, or you babysit here and there, because we have lots of free time. There's not the school we have to worry about, so we can do other things to take up our time, like babysitting or working at a summer camp or being a CIT, learning to be a counselor eventually. And lots of us, we take all this time to be with children throughout our summer. And even if it's our younger sibling, we take time to be with them, to do fun stuff with them, because we have the time now and we're not worried so much about school. We have time to do a little fun things with our siblings or at work with kids we babysit, whoever it may be. So this message is called Being with Children. The soul is healed by being with children. A good cure for being bored, frustrated, or depressed is to spend some time with children. Everything is new to them, and this fresh outlook can be catching. Walking with a child, we can see again, as if for the first time, the bright beauty of flowers, the relentless diligence of insects, the myriad shapes of clouds. Children make us slow down to match their gait. They ask questions we may have forgotten we know the answer to. Their young eyes notice things we have not looked at for years. When I am with children, my own or someone else's, I'll pay attention to them and to what they bring to my life. I have the great personal experience of working at a daycare, like for aftercare after school during the school year, and also working at the same daycare, but it's also summer camp during the summer, so I also work there during the summer. And these kids, it truly is what they're saying. They make you slow down. They make you think about everything that you're doing, and they kind of also make you forget everything that you're doing at the same time. While you're thinking of everything you're doing, like, wow, remember when I couldn't do that, and now the stuff that I'm doing seems so hard, but soon it'll be easy, just like how when they're learning the ABCs, it may seem hard for them, but then eventually it becomes easier, so that helps us kind of face some of the challenges we have in our lives. But also, it helps us to kind of forget everything that's happening and just focus on the simple things that are going on right in front of us. Like, we're still stressed about so many things that we have to do. We have to get all our school stuff ready. We have to get our summer reading. We have to do whatever project. We have to go how many places with people, whatever it may be that we're all thinking about still, even though school's over. Being with children, it kind of slows down the time, and you're like, oh wow, like these kids, they're not worried about anything. They're worried about what toy they're going to play next, what they're going to play pretend with their friends. And you can't help but love it, no matter who you are. Just like these kids, they come up to you and they just tell you these random little stories that they created, whether it's they found the big bad wolf, or they found a chipmunk in the cabinet in the fake toy kitchen, which of course they didn't, but they have such an imagination that they're pretending that there's a baby chipmunk coming out of there. Or they come up to you holding nothing, but they're like, oh my god, look what I found, and you're like, wow, and you just pretend that it's the coolest thing you've ever seen, but there's nothing in their hand. And it's just hanging out with these young kids that keeps us fresh and lets us slow down our pace in our lives. This also goes with appreciating the little things in life, because what they're focused on such little things that we sometimes forget. Like it was saying that sometimes we forget we even had the answer to those questions, but we find the answer in it because we haven't thought about it in forever. But here we are, and they ask you a simple question like, why is that the color blue? And you're like, wow, I don't know. And it's just being with kids that can just take your mind off of whatever else is going on, and it's fun and entertaining, and you can have a good time with them as they're also enjoying you. And it doesn't have to be at a summer camp if you don't work at a summer camp or a daycare, or if you're not a babysitter, but maybe have younger siblings or younger cousins or a god sibling or whatever it may be. Like there's always people around. Like I have a younger brother who's 9, and I can do just as much stuff and even see even our difference is an 8-year difference, and we can see that like the stuff that he thinks is so difficult, I'm like, wow, like I thought it was difficult, and now I have difficulter things, and now my parents have more difficult things. Then they're looking at me with my problems. So it's just kind of a cycle of looking at, wow, like simpler times and appreciating like little things. But another thing with going about hanging out with children and being around them during your summer is you have to work on your patience very, very much. While they slow things down for you to appreciate little things and to calm yourself down, there's also some things that they slow down a lot, like putting on their shoes. Sometimes they take forever, and you're just sitting there like, come on, let's put on your shoes, let's go inside. And they're just taking their precious time. Their sock is on backwards. So being with kids is really a way to grow and to learn our patience and to get more of it. And that's the next message that goes, give the gift of patience. What is love? That is the question the Apostle Paul tackled in 1 Corinthians 13. Near the top of the list you'll find this: love is patient. Being patient shows a willingness to cut people slack even when they may not deserve it, withhold judgment when people mess up, give people time to grow. Patience allows us to look past people's rough exteriors to see what's inside. Patience allows us to accept people as they are and to resist the urge to change them. To give someone the gift of your patience is to lay the groundwork for a deeper relationship with that person. If you have trouble with giving the gift of patience to others, remind yourself that your loved ones, the people who are closest to you, give you the gift of patience every day. Love is patient and kind. And this is really put to the test, your gift of patience, when you're working with these younger children, because like I was saying, they take forever to put on their shoes. You just ask everyone if they need to go to the bathroom, and they all say no, but as soon as you get inside, they say, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, and you're like, are you serious? Or they need to go to the bathroom 20 times, or they're just going because their friends are going. And all these little things, they really test your patience, but you have to know that you can't judge them because they're little kids. They're going to mess up. And they do just need time to grow and to learn, because they don't know yet how to quickly put on their shoes or how to control when they have to go to the bathroom. They've just been potty trained. They gotta go. You're lucky that they're telling you they have to go to the bathroom instead of going in their pants. So, and this patience thing isn't just with little kids. It's with everyone of all ages. Whether it's our coworkers or our friends or whoever we're spending our summer with, whoever we're spending our school time with, we're so quick to judge people and like, come on, pick up the pace. Or if someone's not getting a subject that we understand, we're so quick to judge. But what about the subject that we don't understand? We don't want people to judge us. So we have to give patience, because the people are going to mess up, but they're learning, they're trying, and you got to be kind with them. You got to let them try. You got to let them figure it out, and also help them. And being patient and showing respect for these people, it's not only going to help them, it's not only showing them that they're loved and that they're cared for, but it's also going to help you, because you're, instead of getting all angry and being like having rage inside of you, you're like calming down. You're like, okay, let them take their time, let them do that, let me help them. And you like calm down yourself as well as you help the other person. So it's not only just good for the other person, but also for yourself. And in the beginning, one of the first things it said is, love is patient. So it's not just trying to be nice, but loving people, like your family, the close ones that you're always with. Even them you have to have patience with, because sometimes you try and hold in and be patient towards everyone in your whole day, and then when you get home, you're not patient with the ones that are with you all the time, that are in your family. So we have to be patient with everyone, and that's really something I think everyone works on, because I don't think anyone has perfected giving the gift of patience to everyone yet. And this also goes along with kind of the saying of treat others the way you want to be treated, which is going to lead into our next message called keeping ourselves down. As long as you keep a person down, some part of you has to be down there to hold him down. So it means you cannot soar as you otherwise might have. Does someone else always have to lose in order for us to win? Sometimes we act as if that's the only case. We scheme covertly or overtly, trying to make sure that some rival, for affection, for position, for attention, doesn't get what he or she wants. We drop hints, gossip, and hold back information. But when we try to keep others down, we also keep ourselves down. We become meaner and smaller than our best selves. All too often, our machinations fail anyway. Others see other meannesses for what it is, and we lose out on opportunities we might have had otherwise. Helping someone rise might as well help me rise too. So this is exactly saying that we have to treat others the way we want to be treated, because if we're not being patient towards someone, if we're blaming them for being too slow or for doing this wrong or for messing up, we're also keeping a negative mindset in ourselves. We're not only bringing the person down, and instead of helping them and showing what they did wrong or messed up, we're just being mean to them and bringing them down, but we're also bringing them down. We're also bringing ourselves down. And I really liked in that message how it said that if you're bringing someone down, some part of you has to be down there to hold them down. So as long as you're holding them down, you're down there too, because how else are you going to hold them down there? So there's really no way to be mean to someone else but have a positive feeling inside of you. Nothing good is ever going to come from being mean to other people. If we want to be treated well and to have a positive feeling inside of us, we have to treat others well and to give them positive feedback. If they mess up, then oh well, everyone messes up. Just help them and help them learn from their mistakes. Say you're a counselor and there's a new CIT and they're a counselor in training. It's their first year and they don't know anything that they're supposed to be doing. They're not familiar with anything. And then they're messing up things because they just don't know, and it's not their fault. They just don't know. But instead of being mean and laughing at them or making fun of them, you're the older counselor. You're supposed to go in and help them and to bring them up and to teach them how to do it so that they won't make that mistake. And if you're mean to them, if you belittle them and make them seem so much smaller, first they're not going to have fun at camp, which it should be fun even for the counselors, and then you're just teaching them that when they're older, they're going to be mean to the CITs, which shouldn't be the relationship that you have. Everyone should be friendly towards one another. So you should teach good things and spread a positive message so that when they're older and when they're the counselor treating the CITs, they'll also be nice. And if they're doing something wrong because they don't know what the right thing to do is, then it's not exactly their fault. They just were never taught the right way to do it, so they think they might be doing the right way, but they don't know that they're doing the wrong way. They're just ignorant. But you knowing what the right thing is and not helping them, or you not doing the right thing and you knowing what it is, you're the one that's more at fault. So when you go so quickly to judge what a CIT does, maybe you should look at like yourself and think, wow, have I done this wrong? Like, I knew what the right thing to do is and I did it wrong. We all make mistakes, and like Hannah Montana said, nobody's perfect, but we have to, instead of being so quick to judge and saying, oh, that person did that wrong, we should just be compassionate and help them, because we could have easily done the same thing wrong, or maybe we did do it wrong when we were younger. And this leads to our last message for tonight, called A Full Lifetime. One ought, every day at least, to hear a little song, read a good poem, see a fine picture, and if possible, speak a few reasonable words. There are many simple, wonderful experiences readily accessible to us every day. A few minutes listening to a favorite piece of music, reading a favorite book, or writing in a journal can be more pleasurable and fulfilling than activities requiring much more extravagant expenditures of our time and money. I will allow myself a few moments of pleasure and peace today. Maybe I'll visit a museum, or maybe I'll listen to music. Whatever I do, I'll make sure I experience it fully. So this is going along with kind of what we were talking about in the beginning, about enjoying like the little things and not worrying about what we're going to do next, what's going to happen tomorrow, what are we going to do, but just fully experience what you're doing right at the moment. And then after, you can worry about what will happen later, what will happen tomorrow. But while you're doing something, make sure to enjoy it to the fullest and to do it with all your heart as you're doing it. And for our summers, we all want to pack it with fun adventures that we can tell everyone when we go back to school. We want to do crazy fun things all the time, but it's good to just take a day to relax, or to take a day to, or take a few minutes to read a poem, or read a little bit of a book, or to see a picture, listen to a good song, and to do little things, and to enjoy little things, even though we want to do a whole bunch of crazy fun stuff all at one time. But we can do that stuff, but we can also take a minute to appreciate little things that we have, to do simple, easy things that we don't have to waste so much money on. Summer's about having fun and having a good time, and we're not trying to impress other people. We're just trying to have fun, to relax a little bit before school starts again, and it goes chaotic again. Once again, every single year we go through the same thing. So I hope you all have a great week and continue to have a great summer. But while you're doing all that crazy fun stuff that you do in the summer, make sure to take the time to appreciate little things like the sun, or even the rain that's helping the grass, or someone being nice to you, or remember to be patient to someone, to play with a little kid, and to just find the good in all you do, and to enjoy every little moment while you're doing it. Don't think about what's going to happen next, what happened yesterday. Think about the present. Think about what's happening now, and enjoy that moment. If at all you guys have any questions, if you have any suggestions for topics you want to talk about, you want to hear about, please feel free to comment me at cardiacradioforteens@gmail.com, and I'll answer to you as soon as I can. I'm Bia, and this has been Cardiac Radio for Teens. Thank you all for listening.